Luna says hello. I want to show you guys where we made it. The northernmost point of the contiguous United States in Inlet, Minnesota. Now, we are in the United States, but it's this is actually a perfect map, man. I need more of these now that I'm thinking about it. We're right up here, the top of this little peninsula. Youngs Bay Drive, 8, 15, 14, right around that area there. And that's the United States. But to the west is Manitoba in Canada, and to the north as well. Some of this water is US water, of course, and to the south, not on the map, is Minnesota. So this is a little enclave that's tucked away in Canada, in Manitoba, the province of Manitoba, but it's officially US territory. These are the little, now this buoy, before I forget, that buoy we found during a visit to Key West, Florida that was not planned, and just kind of decided we would just go and spend a weekend there, and wound up spending a month there. We found the southernmost point of the United States. Had no idea it was there. In fact, I was probably there a few days before I realized what it was. But that's the southernmost point of the contiguous United States. And of course, once we were there, we were like, well, there must be a northernmost point. And you would think Alaska, but this is the northernmost point of the contiguous US. So now we've been to both of those. This is the little customs booth that you have to check in. So there's not an official, this is official, but there's not a conventional booth that you drive through like you do at the border at other places. What you're expected to do here is, if you're traveling from Manitoba into this Inlet Peninsula, inside of the booth, here, I'll just show you real quick. Inside of the booth is a small little device, screen, iPad. And it's touchscreen, obviously. It prompts you, it has prompts. Just basically all the same type of questions that they would ask you as you were entering Canada. When you're going from Inlet back to Manitoba, you use this phone. You call and speak with Canadian Customs to announce your entry into Canada. So it's a little different. I wasn't sure exactly how it was going to work, but it's pretty straightforward. This little area here, there's not a whole lot. Lots of camping and RV. What do they call them? Slabs, whatever, spots. We got a boat coming in here. Oh, that's actually a jet ski. This is Youngs Bay Resort. This is like a small little store, tackle and stuff. I was gonna say it's fishing. It's a lot of fishing. And then over here is like a restaurant. They've got a few more gifts and items that you can buy in there. There is First Nations population here. Just on the other side of the water there is Canadian Native American reservation land. So actually the first people we met here were from there. And they got in their little boat, not a very big boat, just a little pond jumper like that. Little sparrows are not liking Luna either. They keep dive bombing her. But just a small little boat like that. And they said it takes them about an hour to get over there. So give you some sense of the distance here. There's this little pocket with what you see here. And then kind of on the other side is what looks more like a town with a sort of general store, mercantile it's called. With the basics, like basic things that you would find at a grocery store: frozen items, refrigerated items, cheese, bread, milk, eggs, cereal. They got a little coffee bar set up in there. There's also the northernmost post office in the contiguous US. That's over there. And there's also the only or last or northernmost, I can't remember the accolade, but it's basically the only one-room school left in the US, something like that. Feel free to fact check me and correct me if I'm wrong, but we got to see that as well. There's also a small little landing strip of an airport for something like a Cessna. It's basically just a path cut through. You know, it's on grass, but it's clearly a runway. There was a plane out there, which made it pretty obvious. I mean, it's labeled, there's a sign and everything, but it's just a real small little runway. Here, as a matter of fact, I'll show you up here. So we're right around here at the northern easternmost point of that peninsula. The First Nations communities are on the other side of that water, and that's a big old spread of water too. Pretty sure that's where they were going. Hey baby, I know she's ready to play Seek. I didn't get her set up yet because there's really nothing to do it right here. We're gonna go over to the restaurant and do it. And then over here on the northern westernmost area, that's where it's more like a community, like homes. Sorry babe. The grocery store, the school, the post office. There's a small little non-denominational church there, and that's pretty much it. So we'll wrap up here today. I had thought about spending the night. Don't know if that's gonna happen though. I don't think that's gonna happen. There's a couple of places where we can probably do some last minute camping if we're so inclined, but I don't know. I do want to say this before I forget. Weather report. It's about 80, 81 today. If I'm being honest, I was hot. I could feel myself getting annoyed with the little things, especially when we kept getting out of the car to try to get video, but mostly because of the sun, because it's probably still pretty warm, but it's a lot cooler now that the sun is lower on the horizon, behind clouds and behind trees, so we're in the shade. It's much better. It's about 45% humidity, I think, is what I saw recently when I checked. I think that's doable. And I'm saying this because we're headed west, and yeah, I'm really not looking forward to the heat, but if it can be a dry heat, I can probably, I've already changed shirts, by the way. I was just sweating through that shirt. And that's just a fact of life, I suppose. There's no point in really putting up much of a fight about that, unless you just want to drive further north and find someplace that's still cold, or we could go back east toward Lake Superior. That was working out pretty well. But I think we're gonna push west. I'm just getting myself prepared mentally. Baby, I know, she's done so well today. Come up here. She's done so well. She's taken so many pictures. I'm sure she's been as hot as I've been. Let's get you in your little posture here. There you go. There you go. So yeah, here we are at Angle Inlet. Northwest Angle. Northernmost point of the contiguous United States, with Luna Sanchez. How am I looking on time here, babe? Let me see. I think I want to mention something. Yeah, I think I can say it quickly. I was going to say this. I was thinking about this earlier. Now that we've come to two different ends of this little thing, which honestly, it's not that meaningful in the sense that, okay, you're at the northernmost point. I mean, you know, when we leave here, we're going to go even further north into Canada. One day we'll probably get to go to Alaska, or maybe parts even further north. We may go further south than Key West. But the point is, I would have never known of either of these places had I not taken some initiative, got in the car, pressed the gas, and just started driving and beginning this sort of nomadic travel life that we're living. I honestly wouldn't have. I was talking to a friend recently, and he was just mentioning a few things that were kind of not panning out. And, you know, I can sympathize with that, and I do. And I'm sensitive to his situation and everything. But as I was kind of mulling over his situation, I was thinking, you know, sometimes when things don't work out, they really are working out for you. It's a bit of a cliche, but there's obviously some truth to it. So at the end of 2020, when my jobs in Houston dried up, come on. I'm always afraid I'm gonna bump this thing and stop recording. Come on up here, hop it. At the end of 2020, when my jobs effectively just, I would say, laid me off, but I wasn't working those kind of jobs, cut my hours, minimize it, and just really put the pinch on me financially. I was like, what am I doing here? I'm working, I'm paying bills, I'm not doing anything particularly fulfilling in a grand sense. I was doing work that I enjoy doing in a sort of, this is the kind of busy work that keeps me occupied, keeps my mind occupied, and makes me feel like I've done something by the end of the day. But those didn't pan out, and I kind of already had some ambitions about hitting the road and seeing what we could see. And we did. And so far it's worked out. But the point that I want to make is, had I waited for all the chips to align and work out in my favor, I would probably still be in the same situation I was in, let's say, 2019. Come here, baby. Not a healthy environment for me. I was not in a healthy environment. So I kind of took a gamble on myself, and I don't want to act like I know what I'm doing, because a lot of this is just shooting from the hip and a lot of jazz, a lot of just riffing and trying to stay in key. But as I am here at this little artifact that is the northernmost point, opposite the southernmost point, two places we can say we've been now, I'm realizing that I'm on a much different trajectory than I was 5-6 years ago. And I have to be very grateful for that. And I am. But I also want to encourage anybody that happens to be listening to these, take a chance, man. Do it. Don't wait for everything to line up right. It's not going to. It won't. It may. It might, in the same way you might win the lottery. Sometimes things fall into place. On a long enough timeline, everything does kind of work out for us, especially here in this day and age, this civilization, this culture, this country. There's, more often than not, there's things working in your favor if you just stay in the game long enough. But why wait? Why wait? I don't know what it is you want to do, but you do. And I know that there's a million excuses, a million reasons to postpone it even further. And that's fine. There'll be no judgment if you play it safe for the rest of your life. There'll be no judgment in that. But if you do have any ambition to see some of these things that are on your heart come to fruition, you're going to have to put some chips on the table and play your cards. Ultimately, you're going to have to. Otherwise, you're just playing somebody else's game, and that's never going to go your way. You might do pretty well relative to other people, relative to how you've done in the past. But if you try and put some time and effort into the things that you have in your heart, on your mind to do, I think you're gonna find a lot of doors wind up opening up for you. Doors that you weren't even expecting to come across. Doors you weren't planning on ever needing. So that's it. I actually took a lot longer to say all that than I meant to. Hopefully I can refine that and maybe produce that in a slightly better sense. But so long from Angle Inlet, Minnesota, the northernmost point of the 48, lower 48. From Luna Sanchez and I, we bid you farewell. So long.